Hey Sophia, hi everybody. I just wanted to sit down and give you some 10 tips and tricks that I used during my years where I had to be super frugal and save as much money as I can. And I wanted to share some of those with you because I know that there are a lot of videos out there with some ideas and tips that are really good. I feel like there are some that I actually experienced that I have not seen yet. So some of them might be repeats. You might have heard it before, some of them not. So you can pick and choose whichever ones you want. So to start off, I just want to say that I found myself at the age of 30 on my own with a 2-year-old whom I had to take care of by myself. And although she split her time with me and her father, I did have to provide a lot of care for her. So I needed to figure out how to do that while not making a lot of money. So the story about how I got to that point is maybe for another day, but I will say that I ended up becoming a full-time teacher so that I could spend more time with my daughter. And that is also another story because I used to work in the fashion industry. I moved over. And I have to say that I really am so grateful for Christ the King here in Queens that gave me that opportunity to teach. And it was such a wonderful environment for me, and I felt so welcomed. That being said, I was not making a lot of money, and I needed to make ends meet. So here are 10 things. The first thing I started with was grocery shopping. I always bought whole food produce from the supermarket. And I stuck to the produce section because there were a lot of vegetables and fruits that were in season, and those would be on sale, especially like sweet potatoes, apples, peppers, and other vegetables that I could make a meal out of. I also used staples like rice and bags of dry beans. Now, I didn't buy canned or boxed items that often unless it was absolutely necessary for the cooking. By and large, I tried to stick to whole food. And I made a lot of simple meals. Rice and beans. I'm Puerto Rican, so that made sense for me. That's what I had already known how to do, how to make. Chicken stew and meat sauce with spaghetti, with ground beef whenever I found it on sale. I would also use chicken tenders. Now, not the little patties style that you find in the frozen aisle with the breadcrumbs. No, I'm talking about just the tender from the chicken breast that they used to sell in a pack of like 6 to 8, and it was really cheap. It was $8, and that was my main staple for Sofia growing up. Rice and beans, chicken tenders, like sauteed chicken with, and then spaghetti and meat sauce. I used to always get eggs that I made sure I got organic, and cheese. Those were other items that I used as her breakfast. So for lunch, for myself, I would take a boiled egg and a bag of clementines or tangerines. I would take one of those and a boiled egg. Sometimes I'd bring cucumbers. Sometimes I'd bring carrots. A lot of whole ingredients that I just ate. Second thing, I made my own coffee at home. Now I know you've heard this. I've heard this a million times. To make your own coffee, do not buy coffee out. I had a French press at home, and I would buy coarse ground coffee, or I would actually, more recently, I bought whole coffee beans, and I have a small spice grinder that I use as a coffee grinder. And I always brought it to work with me. And if I needed coffee at work, I would have Bustelo instant coffee that I would make at work. And that actually helped keep the hunger at bay. If I got hungry at work, I just have a cup of coffee. Was it the best? No, but that's what I did. So I'm just sharing what I did. Now, and actually at the time, when my mom or my family asked me what I wanted for Christmas or for my birthday, I always asked them for coffee and olive oil. Olive oil I use all the time, every day. That was my oil for everything, for salads, for cooking, for everything. So if I could get that for my birthday or for Christmas, that actually helped carry me. Same thing with the coffee. Those are things I use every single day. So that's the second item. Third, when Sofia was growing up In the summer, it was really hot and I had her 4 days out of the week. So I needed to find something to do with her, especially if I had free in the summer as well. I did not want to use the air conditioner too much during the day for the electricity bill. Of course, I had to use it at night. I had no choice, but that's fine. So during the day, I would try and find entertainments for her where it was air conditioned. So a couple of free places, a couple of small fee places. One was Barnes& Noble. I used to love to take her to Barnes & Noble, especially the one on Union Square. That one was great. It's 4 floors. There are a lot of things to look at. There's a whole children's section that's really, really nice. We used to read books together. They had like little activity books out in the open that you could look through and play with. And I would spend the day with her there. And that would be, and of course I would bring food, a little container of rice and beans, always and forever. And we would just spend the whole afternoon there, the hottest parts of the day. On the hottest days, the air conditioner is what saved us. And then I entertained her at the same time. Another one I used, sometimes I just went to the local library that always had air conditioning and it had books. Another place I went to was the mall. And you might think the mall, you know, you're gonna start shopping and spending money. But that's not how I viewed the mall. The Queen Center Mall has a skylight, right? And in the center, in a certain area, has carpeting, and it had little seats and chairs and sofas, a little seating area. And I used to bring games, toys, and food. And Sofia and I would walk around the mall, just looking at stuff, and then we'd sit down in that area and have lunch, we'd play. I use the mall just for the air conditioning, and it's just an open location to people watch, basically, right? I did not go into stores shopping. That is not how I viewed the mall. I wasn't buying anything anyway. So it was literally just a place for the air conditioning. So that was the third thing. Another thing I have, I'm just gonna look at my list real quick. In addition to using, so those were the free ones. The 2 paid ones, or the paid one was the museums. So I used to take Sofia to the American Museum of Natural History and to the Metropolitan. That is donation only for people that live in New York. That's a whole day. I used to take her there. Again, air conditioning and entertainment for the whole day. I'd bring food. You could bring food. We would take either public transportation to get there. Sometimes it was a bit of a hassle, so I bit the bullet at times and drove in and just found street parking. But many times, if it wasn't too bad or I felt up for it, we would just take the train there and we would spend the whole day there, and we would pick sections that we wanted to see, and I would give $1. If I was feeling generous, I'd give 2 or 3, but I really didn't pay that much money. We were always there anyway. So it was either the American Museum of Natural History or the Metropolitan. That was a great way to spend time. I also took her to the park playground, sprinklers. Any place with sprinklers was awesome. And speaking of the park with the playground and the sprinklers, Sofia's birthday happens to be in July, and I would just do her birthday in the park. I mean, it's a free location. They had picnic tables. I'd bring the tablecloth. I'd buy some paper plates and cups and stuff from Party City. I would get 3 pies of pizza and a small ice cream cake from Baskin Robbins and just invite a bunch of friends for her. She loved it. The playground was the entertainment. They were their own entertainment. She spent the whole afternoon, a whole day there, and it didn't cost me more than, I don't know, $50, $80. I don't remember, but it wasn't that much. And they had a great time. I remember one of her friends used to do the birthday at Chuck E. Cheese or another paid place or catering place. And yeah, it was just as nice. It was entertaining. And it was different, but it cost money. And I feel like at the end of the day, the children enjoyed it just as much, whether we paid for it or we didn't. So either way, I just went for the park, and Sofia had wonderful memories from that. So We did that until she was 16 years old. Let's see, what else do I have here? Hair products. Okay, so now we're talking about beauty and personal care. For hair, I did not spend a lot of money on my hair. I got a haircut once a year. I kept it long, simple, not short, not something I had to maintain all the time. And especially in the summer or during the year, I put my hair in a ponytail or in a braid. I didn't need super fancy hair care products. I didn't have a blow dryer, a Dyson curler. I didn't have any of that. So I just had VO5. I get a VO5 shampoo and conditioner. They were like $1.99 each. If I felt like I wanted something fancy, I'd get Pantene or I'd get Garnier. That was about it. So I didn't spend too much on hair care. I did not have hairspray. I did not have gel. I had a curling iron that every once in a while I wanted to get some curls. That was about it. So that was one thing I did not spend a lot of money on. And I bought no makeup. I never bought makeup. I will tell you how I got my makeup. I used to buy good quality skincare. And by good quality skincare, I mean I didn't buy it at the pharmacy. I used to go to department stores, right? This was before Sephora. I used to go to Macy's and I'd buy my skincare from Lancome, from Clarins, from Clinique. My family usually used Lancome. That was kind of a tradition, so I stuck to Lancome usually. But really my main goal was to make sure that I bought skincare at a time when they were giving a promotion of like a free makeup kit with a certain spending limit, right? So if you bought $60 or $80 worth of full price items, they would give you a little kit. And the kit would always include blush, mascara, and a choice of lipstick, right? So I would get the lipstick that would suit me the best. Usually it was a dark color and some type of nude pink, right? So I would go mostly for the nude or the pink type colors. And every once in a while I would get a blush or a eyeshadow. Now I didn't really use eyeshadow palettes. I think I have one here that I can show you. This is one that I had. I got this many years ago during that time. And because I don't really use eyeshadow, I still have it in full. I think this is over 10 to 12 years old. Something I did do was that if they didn't really give any eyeliner and I wanted a smoky eye look or an eyeliner look, I would take the dark color, right, with either a Q-tip or a little brush, and I would just put it on the edge of my eye and create the look that I wanted, right? So it has these beautiful colors. I'll just do my other eye to even it out, but basically you get the idea. I just put it on the edge as if I had done a smoky eye look. And I also have a lipstick that I bought that I didn't buy. It came with, I mean, I bought it, right? Obviously with the skincare, but this is one called Swoon. It's like a purple metallic. There was a purple metallic shade on here. I really liked purple. I like metallics. So it worked. These came as part of a set. And it lasted me forever. So by the time I needed another skincare set, it was time to get makeup anyway. So I used to actually collect a lot of makeup. So guess what? I never bought makeup. I only bought makeup if there was a specific shade I was looking for lipstick. That was it. And I indulged myself because I didn't buy any other makeup at any other time of the year. I never used foundation. I didn't understand the point of foundation. I guess I'm lucky because I didn't really have skin issues. So that definitely had a hand in how I spent my money on makeup. So here's another one. Let me see. Perfume. I never bought perfume. I always got samples. And also when I went to Sephora, back in the day, I used to go, they used to have these little perfumes that you could get little samples of, and you pick the one that you like, And I say, oh, can I get a sample of this or can I get a sample of that? They give you 2 or 3. I used to get Marc Jacobs Daisy, and it'd be a nice size. It'd last me a little while, and if I liked it and it was done, I'd just go back to another Sephora and get another sample. And I had like 2 or 3 Sephoras that I went to, and I just collected vials of the perfume and I used that. No, there was literally no reason for me to buy any perfume. None. Especially if I want to experiment. What I do now also, even though Sephora doesn't really give, I mean, maybe some Sephoras do. I haven't been to Sephora where they offered perfume samples that much anymore, but in department stores, they still do. Macy's, they still do. Bloomingdale's, Saks, they do. In fact, I went to I don't have it in here, but, oh, it's over here. I went to the Hermes stall and I asked for a sample of the Nour Angel Gras sur le Nil. They give me a really nice size. Not bad at all, right? And it lasts me a while, and sometimes they give you 2 or 3. I also got some samples from Chanel. Chance au Splendide. It's a new fragrance, and I got a sample of it. If I like it, I just go back to the store and get another sample. If I really, really like it, then I may invest in it. So it's not like I would never buy perfume, but I rarely did. And these perfumes last me a while. And I don't use perfume all the time, so it didn't make too much sense to buy it. Even nowadays, I buy some makeup. I bought some makeup from Dior. And of course, I am fortunate at this point in my life where I have the funds to be able to buy some more nicer items that I'm interested in. So I went to the Dior website. I wanted to get their bronzer and a foundation because at this point I kind of want some foundation. I'm in my 40s, and so I bought it, but I made sure I bought it at the time where they were still offering a gift for a certain spending limit, right? So I think for Dior it was like $160 or $150. So I bought like 3 items. I think I bought a lipstick, a foundation, and a bronzer, all 3 of which I wanted anyway. And it came with a really nice size perfume. I don't have it here, but it's more than just a sample. It is a little bottle, like yay big. And it's like the size of half a bottle of regular size perfume. So I got that. Again, I timed it. I got the welcome promo code. So I already got a discounted price. I got the free perfume, and I went ahead and bought what I wanted either way. So I just wanted to, mention that. So let's see what else. Oh, and I also use things until they were done. Which is my Fresh. If I open it, this is max, right? I'm at the end, and I use a little brush to use the rest. So I use things until they're done. There was nothing of this, I throw it out halfway through. That didn't exist. Also at Sephora, I always go for their birthday gifts every year. And I got this lipstick. It was much higher, I think a couple of years ago, and I still have it. I still use it. No problem. This year, I got a Summer Fridays. And I mean, there's literally no reason for me to be buying makeup. There's none. And my family gifts me Lancome promo, like promotional little gift sets all the time. We exchange. Yeah, that's how I save money. And I'm still saving money on makeup. I haven't been to Sephora in like 5 months. All right. In terms of children's clothing for Sofia growing up, obviously every 8 months, 10 months, they grow out of their clothing during the first 10 to 12 years. And I was not about to be shopping all the time for clothes for her. Plus, I really didn't like the styles that they were selling or the quality that was being sold at Target or Walmart. It just wasn't my style. I didn't really like it, to be honest. I really liked Gap Kids. Now, back in the early 2000s or the mid 2000s, between 2005 when she was born and like 2012 or 2013, I don't know who was designing the kids' clothes at the Gap, but Gap Kids was amazing. It was beautiful, beautiful designs, beautiful sets. Not like now where it's more like basic, very plain. Back then they were gorgeous, but I couldn't buy it all the time. So I found out that on eBay, parents selling this clothing from their children when they've outgrown it. So I would find sets of Gap Kids clothes, like 5 shirts, 3 pants, skirts, jacket, whatever, on eBay. You could buy a whole set of them for $50. So as long as I liked a couple of the clothes on there, I would put in a bid, and many times I would win the bid. 50 bucks, I got a whole set of clothing for Sofia. I did this for the summer months and for school. Shoes, I don't remember. I think I just bought her shoes because worn shoes don't really transition well, but clothing, I just got it. I used to wash it very well, and then I would use it for her, and it would be fine. And I didn't spend a lot of money on clothes. Let me see what else. I forgot to keep count, so I stopped counting, but maybe I'm on 10 at this point. So like, all in all, it's not like I was out of debt. I was still struggling. I was still in debt actually for a lot of that time, but I managed to minimize the pain of not having a lot of money by kind of balancing it out with these tips and tricks. And maybe you've heard them, some of them, maybe you've heard all of them, but perhaps there is something that you can take away. So I just wanted to end the video there. I might follow up with doing a video about traveling frugally, and yeah, maybe my story about how I became a teacher, which is a good one. Okay, anyway, have a great day. Bye.